Into it. Bands are already rocking and rolling here. Eminem has the first and final one. BDS has the two center ones. Eminem initially going to knock out Thermite just to obviously make the overall hard breach situation a bit more complex, specifically for BDS here. He's oftentimes the first go-to, as you're not going to be double reinforcing the walls very often. The ones that you're going to be critical to take down, of course. So we'll just knock that one out. Montaigne is the second choice. This one coming from BDS, of course. Montaigne, incredibly useful for getting access specifically to the T-room site. So not wanting to deal with that potential execute, they just knock it out of play entirely. And the same for Valkyrie here, as she's still just too useful on a universal perspective. So we'll chuck her right out of the game.
Making so much sense when it comes down to it. Thermite starting to be kind of a notorious ban here for Skyscraper for you and I. Saw him banned earlier on today, as well as the Bandit, and as he's been so useful when it comes down to it for Bandit tricking and trying to eliminate a lot of the entry points for the offense, making it to where they can seldom get in or get a breach, try and get pressure on things like Geisha, as well as some of the other walls over in Office, but won't have to try and dance that jig no more. So Eminem won't have the Bandit in the mix, obviously. No mute jammers either to try and hold up these walls, but they will have a zombie and Solus. So a lot of utility still abound to set them up defensively, as well as hinder the info game of BDS.
BDS, well, let's start things out on the attack here. So we rotate ourselves into it. We'll see just how prepared Eminem are going to potentially be for the rushes this time coming in from BDS. Doesn't matter which side they played onto, BDS had control of the entire picture in that previous map. So how will Eminem get things started out this time, as they have another defensive-sided start going into this final map? Will history repeat itself, as we just saw happen back on Cafe, and see BDS give us a masterclass on how to clear out this map for 6 rounds straight? Or does Eminem have that little bit of extra fight left in them to take the challenge to BDS a bit more directly, find a bit more early round prowess and trading those kills back, and hopefully giving them a few capabilities to pick up the rounds earlier on.
Excited to see how BDS sets pace for us here. They have the logic bombs that can seriously help them, as well as the clones from Shaiko. I see this utilized on the top floor, try and clear things out. Eminem, some solid defensive fortifications, mostly centralized around the center hallway that we tend to talk about when it comes to Skyscraper. Shaiko will be building himself up for Black Balcony as well. Lem's wrapping around, but he's mostly over towards the other portion of the building. Team BDS trying to make sure this entire top floor is influenced across the board before they start making their entries, just so there is some level of team play working its way into this.
As we have the play coming out from BDS, Shaiko is going to land the first blow this time around here. Nafe gets caught in the middle of the hallway with that entire just full peaks for the trade. 2 kills immediately gifted over to our attackers, leaving Uzus, Nello, and Solotov as the last 3 standing for Eminem. Where will they fight back? Where will they have this defiant stance? You can see the setup from Solotov just below, on the inside of, I believe, under the side of Geisha, but a drone has already spotted him out, revealing his position and preventing any serious power plays, more than likely, from broiling out from this spot. Now upstairs here, a little bit more ready for the challenge to come in from Shaiko. Get some damage back onto him. Let's make sure he is perfect in this respect, though. We see that nade coming in from below, doesn't fully kill him, but that with the combination of the Rotero drone nearly does take him down. However, stands tall. Solotov as well to strike back with a second kill, puts us on even terms now, with those trades being found at the 1-minute mark.
Yeah, Solotov, somehow, some way, you believe it was the Geisha drop, but hard to say. Able to get up behind Shaiko on Black Stairs. Get that pivotal frag, getting us into the 3 versus 3. Eminem constantly trying to barter for some semblance of advantage, or just a way to equalize. Finally capable. Have EMPs here for Alems, but he really can't do too much with this position. No frag grenades like Doak used to have to try and toss through that drone hole. It'll be Bride to strike instead. Another player down here for Uzus, so it's going to be up to Solotov to try and get something, but no, BDS shuts it down. And Renshiro, again, able to take out Eminem, and he is feeling himself here today.
Renshiro certainly keeping the energy up for BDS as we start to get a little bit later on in the evening now. with BDS looking to continue their perfect streak now up to 8 rounds in a row if you consider the previous map for them as well. Rolling off of the perfect 7-0 cafe that they just played, of course. We'll see how long they can keep this going for.
I'd say he woke up on the right side of the bed, but it's like he woke up, set the bed on fire, and then just like ran down the street. He's got so much energy pumping through his veins right now, man. The undisclosed energy drink inside of his little cup there, definitely getting to him, but it's helping him out. This is the most live wire-esque I have seen Renshiro in my entire life, and I have watched a lot of BDS games. He's usually the one that's just like completely calm as well. You never get anything out of him, so I mean, pretty funny at the end of the day. I really love the energy we're getting. That's exactly what you want out of your esports players.
A little bit of the opposite, yeah, showing up here for
and that's why it's so funny to me. It's just like you never get this out of Renshiro, and now it's him today that has all this go-lucky energy, so love to see it.
So as BDS inch themselves that much closer to ultimate victory, Eminem wonder what exactly they can potentially do to change up their own fate. Setting up on the other side of the map this time, they'll go into the office hold for round number 2. BDS, of course, more than ready to deal with that. So they have the hard breach to quickly try and stabilize things here. Give them access to the check-in desk and a few other spots. Doesn't know with this Rotera drone as it sneaks in, but actually is going to get mute jammed out just at the last second here. So that saves the potential Mira setup, and more importantly, Eminem able to strike first this time too. Alems is found out via a shotgun and taken down here to set our defenders up into a 5v4 at the beginning of the round.
Well, for BDS, it doesn't matter as long as they have Renshi alive. Nell's going to have so much damage dealt to him and try and build this up with the drone play. EFAC working his way forward. Some shots through on that mirror window. Do have a player position down low for some preventative maintenance from Eminem. Have the nitro cells primed and ready to go for a later plant. BDS going to continue to flirt with the breach wall outside here, but where's the remaining members of the team? We've got a cross here established for at least the plant room, terrarium. See if they can try and be able to build some things up for that. Still have some plays going on over on the far side as well here for Shaiko as he's wrapped himself around. Solital will be the next big player to get a kill as he'll take down Renshi. Some shots back from Shaiko though as he pre-fires the soft wall, able to take him out. In some way, somehow, BDS are working, slowly filing down this round.
Shuttle ready for a peek to try and swing himself deeper into this site, but numbers are getting low from BDS. He needs something a little more than that. Some of them are more than prepared for it. The Magnets just snatching that nade right up and gobbling it in the process here. The rest of BDS ready to move themselves forward into the site. Will continue to wait for that execute to come through, but has Nello and the rest of MNM sit on the other end of this one, more than ready for the challenge. BDS has just not been able to find the winner yet, trying to do it through utility, and indeed, they do find it. Shaiko lands the nade against Uzis. He's able to take him down, and a second as well, as we see a second member of MNM panic, rushing out into the open there, giving away another kill to our attackers, allowing them to control the pacing of this one now too, as we enter the final 25 seconds. A nice snapshot from Nath there, as he flicks over to Shaiko, shuts him down, but like a fact, restores the advantageous balance for BDS. Tyrant left alone here now inside of the 1v1, as he does manage to take out Bride. Case retrieved by Like a fact. He can start the process of throwing it down, but Deep goes right for the repeat, something that Tyrant's more than ready for, as Eminem respond and give us an even 1-1 scoreline.
They always have nades. Yeah, I'm getting destroyed on this Mira.
Finally, a successful round here, and a little discussion about the nade plays coming in from BDS. And yes, indeed, Shaiko constantly able to line those up, it seems, against Eminem. No real utility game around some of these pivotal positions for Eminem, and those frag grenades constantly nipping them in the bud, so we'll see if they try and fix that up, and they will. The Jaeger coming through as well on top of the Wamai, try and soak up some more of that pressure coming through from those frags. We'll see if that assists them with their hold of the T room. Team BDS finally slipping up here. They were 8 rounds perfect as they dropped that last one.
So we have BDS beginning to set themselves up yet again. No repicks apparently needed just yet to make this work, so they're going to be having the correct lineup to play this one out. Eminem, of course, I think just returning over towards their T-room hold now to try and make things a winner for them on this specific play. Saltov has spotted out a drone and is calling it out there. There we go. His teammate just having a little bit of trouble locating it or getting in position to knock it out, but they do eventually get the job done. Once again, just showing the strength that Solus brings to the table, that kind of reverse IQ. Spotting out all the attacker utility instead of what IQ does, spotting out all the defender's utility. And of course, putting that onto a very fast package makes Saltov a very dangerous roamer now, as we've been seeing pretty much every other team with access to Solus utilize as well.
Yeah, some incredible play from Doki, especially earlier today. So much presence on that op, not only in dealing a lot of damage to the drone game, but also constantly culling the opposition. See if Solitov can replicate any of that. Shaika once again coming in onto the balcony. EFAC will begin over on the far side, working his way in. BDS getting a nice wrap on this top floor, building things up like we'd seen previously, starting over on the office side, getting some of their other players set up around things like terrace, as well as the shrine window and the balcony, then start working their way in just so BDS has some of those parameters built up in case things do go wrong.
As the swing comes in, BDS will start to try and line themselves up. The phone calls come out as well, so the drone's trying to spot those players now, but we'll see if this nade chuck is going to lead into anything. Nafe, thankfully, having the ADS to support that. A little slow on the follow shots from him, so no real damage going out against BDS here, but as the nades roll forward, BDS still, man, not able to come out on top with these. You heard Eminem talking about it there as we got their comms for a split second in the post round. They caught onto the nade usage, so that's why we're seeing the Omai as well as the Jaeger combo come out so strong here, as it's just a direct counter to the slow roller from BDS. So no, poor rotation from Nell ends up dropping right into the face of Lycofak. Really gets away with that first kill. Loses the advantage pretty much instantaneously because of the trade. And we now go down to the 4v4. Lem's taking a little bit of heat from that one, so overall BDS going to end up in a slightly worse spot because of that, but can easily make up for that deficit just by claiming another kill in clean fashion. They've got the back opening here to be able to access T-Room also, so already a path forward to get their plant down onto the ground, and Everyday has once again made things a bit better by placing himself into that position there. So the swing comes through now, full T-Room control gain for the attackers as Lycofak swings forward to eliminate Nafe. Solitov, one of the last players standing, but it all ultimately falls to Uzus inside of the 1v3. He'll try to wrap back around, go for a little mini flank here. Too predictable, unfortunately, for BDS. Lycofak reads right into that one, claims the round, and the lead with it now as the team goes up 2-1.
Dominance from BDS on the offensive side. Yes, they lose Renshiro early, but the rest of the team able to quickly make work of Eminem, get that plant down successfully in such a high man advantage situation. It'll make your head spin. BDS able to not only get that done with, but also get that big Solus kill down low that can look to prevent the plant. So once again, well struck from BDS. Shaiko 4-2-4. The rest of the team barely trailing behind him. Lycofak actually 4-2-1 as well on top of that. Not only that, but having to play around those Rotero drones quite often so far throughout this portion of Skyscraper. Going to end up throwing that on over to the Habana as they figured out what site it's going to be, which is going to be barbecue.
Yep, so new territory here as far as MNM is concerned. We've not seen them play into this one just yet. BDS, of course, finding their 2-for-2 executes against T-Room. MNM able to lock in the other site on the second floor aside from that. MNM more than likely going to be steering clear of T-Room, I would imagine, for the rest of this half, but could end up being surprised as of yet. Tyrant with a run-out position here. However, no one from BDS is spawned over there or is rotating into that one, so there'll be minimal success on this impact usage here. Let's see what else he could potentially rotate himself into in a few moments, as we're going to see Shaiko and at least one other member of BDS clear near him. That defender we were just talking about, of course, but it's not in the same partition of the map. Tyrant, though, as you can see, is still patiently waiting for any potential run-out opportunities that may present in the next few seconds. There it is.
Big gunfight. Tyner will take down Lycofak. Habana off the board now. A little bit of a misread there from BDS, as they really weren't aware of the rotation that was available to Eminem on the balcony. Lem's going to work his way in via delivery. He'll breach things down to pantry here at a moment's notice, but probably just going to use that to kind of throw them off once they go for this rotation over towards the farther side. Has another one actually to deal with, so not going to be as cheeky of a play as he was building up to, as he has to dispatch both of those castle barricades before proceeding.
As we're cheering out. Slaps open, I believe that was the geisha window. He's positioning himself out towards to try and start to establish the top-down control that the team will need to burst out remaining presence on the site. But Shiro indeed taking the challenge. Alan, he hops in towards the window, but bites off a little bit more than he can chew here. Wow, that's super unfortunate as well. BDS, I believe they try to double stack in through one of the doorways where there was an EDD placed on top of it, meaning that 2 players go down to 1 doorway set. Super unfortunate for BDS, and has pretty much lost them the round now, as Shaiko's left alone in front of a 1v5. Eminem feeling very smart about that pickup of the cap can now, as it has been worth its weight in gold here to be able to shut down any capability of a BDS comeback here in the late round.
Will be a magic moment if Shaiko was able to get it done. Seems like he knows where one is, not able to get even the first. A flawless round here from Eminem, is they've been constantly pulling these out of their hat throughout this entire series. It started all on border, now here on to Skyscraper.
So second pickup here now is going to be back over into exhibition for the hold from Eminem. Like I said, already locking that one down, so they'll just make the return to it to try to guarantee 3-3 on the half by picking that one up. And then meanwhile, over on the attacking side for BDS, things continue to try and build up into a successful swing for them. And this has been, like we said, one of the few where they haven't been able to lock things down between this one and Barbecue. So BDS is going to have to change up their own style a little bit if they want to find that same degree of success, if they want to make sure they can work themselves into it. The Thatcher may be helping out with that. If he can try to disable out some of these utility mitigation pieces, such as the Omai discs that are going to be standing in the way of their nades, and overall, the rest of the pieces of their execute. Heartbreach is going to be a little bit troublesome for this round too, just because the Cade's being brought there by Ubisoft, so that will also stand in their way and could explain the Thatcher bring up from Renshiro.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, Eminem now. They're trying to toss things over to Office, John, see what they can get done here. They've dropped the Jaeger that we saw previously, and funny enough, this was the site setup that we saw where the mirror windows were starting to have a lot of issues for Eminem in some of the, bigger positions as the frag grenades were pouring in from Shaiko especially. So they've chosen to circumvent that yet again here. Go right around the Jaeger, end up just working the Wamai back in. So they do end up running into the same wall, then kind of be a joke on them, wouldn't it? Have to see what they can get done with this wall here. Looks like the Electro shuffle for Ubisoft, but those Selmas are so quick, they can only get the second piece, and yes, indeed, they will have a breach through that to be able to at least hold the rotation.
There's no hop in just yet here for BDS. Still needs to try and open that up a little bit more here instead of risking themselves and just going directly for it. Selmas will be used this time to try and open up the actual main route here. Brede tries to put his drone over through the little hole there, but it is going to be muted out, so no success in that regard. Shaiko, though, pops the window and very quickly finds a target sitting behind it. Solitov, the first to go down on this round at the hands of Shaiko. From the M&M side of things, that'll be the Warren going down in the execute as well, so Naves will have massive power from BDS as they no longer have that warrior to peer through it and strike back, but they still have map presence here to deploy out from it. Nello picking up the most recent kill. It was 2 found overall by M&M. 1 trade to equalize. This may have just been found by BDS. I'm not sure if they're aware of it. There we go. Getting the finalizer off onto Nave to down him. Either way, his rotation was cut off. He would not have been brought back anyway. Down into a 3v3 now as BDS, once again, keeps themselves in the fight.
We've been able to boil it down this far. 2 nitro cells still reside in the pockets of the M&M members. EFAC could flirt with this, but still a minute remaining. Don't want to get too far ahead of themselves, and Nello can definitely deliver in this position. Not only with the shotgun, but also the SMG-11. Very dominant. Such a high rate of fire. Hard to deal with. Tyrant These nades pouring in on his location now. We'd seen this prior from Shaiko, but both of these nades will go wide. So don't have to worry about that any longer. Still have the smoke, though, for EFAC. They could break up some things. It's going to start breaking up one of the angles inside of the actual site. Gunfight here as Tyrant tries to swing into Shaiko, but he's on for the ace if he can get 2 more. Some damage coming in onto Usis' location deep inside of the office. Finally, though, EFAC will break it up. No ace for our boy Shaiko, but it will be a 4K for him as he shuts down the defense.
Ranchiro, yet again, popping off here for BDS. Is it Shaiko, the star of the show this time around here? So he shuts down everything. All challenges from the Eminem defense here and gets us started even as well with the opening kill. Gives his teammates that little confidence boost that's needed to win out the rest of it. So 3-2 is now the scoreline heading into the final round of the half. Eminem obviously able to put up a much better fight than we were seeing over on Cafe, but it still has left them slightly behind potentially if they cannot rebound here on this round and finally lock in a T-room defense as they will go for it for the 3rd time. Mind you, BDS has won this attack both previous attempts, so this will be a little bit of a risk from Eminem to make a return to this site, even though generally speaking, this is the go-to for defenders.
Well, 15 seconds remain here for Eminem to set up the remainder of this site. We'll be working the Jaeger back in, but not necessary, honestly. BDS been caught off guard here a couple times throughout this, but been able to stand guard now, get their round back under their belts and make this 3-2. Eminem will have the opportunity to tie things up and keep it neck and neck going into the half. That's really what they're trying to get done, but it looks like it's going to be finally some aggressive plays to the outward area of the building. Looks like some of these balconies might be of the utmost importance, and it might be on to Shaiko to try and stop this from happening. They're going to wait for the swing here. The mute jammer through. Another drone out, but really it's only going to be the frag grenade that can get anything done for him. Another drone out, but can't get back over towards the wall. Alems will get taken down from Solotov inside of Geisha. Very impressive angle. Don't necessarily know how he got that done. The death here from Shaiko might be soon. They know they have somebody on the back end. Tyrant able to finally get it done. There's a moment in time to go for a play like that. It was now. BDS so comfortable in the way they've been taking this map. Try and work their way up Black Stairs as well. EFAC. Not a lot of damage onto him, but a lot of damage onto the opposition as Nafe almost dusted.
Eminem putting their foot down right at the start of this one for BDS. Based on previous play, it's not really going to leave them with a massive amount of room to come back into this one. Like we said, at the tail end of map number 1, opening kills have been pretty definitive so far this series for determining the outcome of the rest of the round. We'll see if Lycofak and the rest of BDS can still make things work anyway. They made mincemeat of any attempts from Eminem to make things work on map number 2. Certainly bringing themselves out of a few dastardly situations where it looked like they were going to be losing it for sure, so can't count them out entirely, even on rounds like this. As they take a slow approach to this so far. Just trying to play oh so carefully to lean into this execute, make little mistakes, few mistakes that is, along the way here. Nello getting the catch on the cross from Geisha on Bride there. Lycofak still able to strike true though. Finds another equalizer before losing himself there to Tyrant, giving back the player advantage over towards Eminem. Bride with at least enough room to justify the plant. Trying to throw it down on the ground. A little bit worried of a rush to come from T-Room, but that's a satisfying kill right there. Evens us out again. They have full intel on Renshiro's position. Bride, still a little bit of a mystery, but they should have at least a good idea as to where he would have gone for the plant. Tyrant, there we go, the winning angle found from him, and the quad as well to end the round.
I think I will bring this ground reinforcements.
Hey guys, come on, the attack. Okay, we got this, we got this.
Let's get that action on. Thatcher open, remember, Thatcher open. They're going to play KD every single round. Like, I literally can't breathe through fucking Geisha in this shit, man.
All right, so round 2, or half 2, I guess, get queued up here now. Even keel between both teams, so really either team's game at this point. What a way to end it. Seeing as we've had 2 very different maps to show prior to this one. Now seeing the teams go to an even numbered scoreline. It is going to make this final half of play very interesting, really giving us a true winner to decide who moves on and who, unfortunately, He's going to have to end their journey at SI here.
Discovered the location
Well, both of these teams laser focused. You heard Eminem immediately talking about this half of play right after the win. Get the Thatcher in, start worrying about them electrifying things and trying to prevent these walls from being opened up. But the funny thing is BDS doesn't even have the Electro Claws in here, but still not a bad thing to cover for Eminem, because that's the last thing that you want to be lacking if that does end up rearing its head. So see if Eminem wants to keep that one in the mix going further. But for BDS's actual setup, it's going to be a little all over the place, not in the sense of a bad term, but everything kind of doing something a little bit different. You got the ability to slow down the drone play. You also have the throwable maintenance with Renshiro on the Wamai. Got some traps as well as just, you know, smoke plant prevent here with smoke working his way in. And finally Shaiko to kind of rebuff a lot of those positions, you know, on the top floor. So BDS going to the toy chest and bringing out something of every shape and color.
And the repel work, I mean, it started pretty early on here for Eminem. They're going to work their way up towards it. Meanwhile, for BDS, we'll see them take a stalwart hold. Not trying to play too adventurously from the looks of things. Just looking to maintain their hold here at the start of the round and block out all of the trickier rotation points that Eminem may be trying to snatch for themselves at the beginning of this round here. Like a fact, speaking of which, in one of those positions, already getting a challenge, set his direction over towards Dragon. Not able to immediately force the duel to come out, but we are going to see them as they work their way into it. Like a fact, still able to maintain that presence. Eminem does not feel enough confidence to fully swing forward here. They hold themselves back, waste out a little bit more of that time. Uses as well, continuing to kind of bait it down here. Eminem certainly struggling to kind of justify this initial push, but that slowdown is not going to last too much longer as they quickly look to pop open the geisha wall and give themselves access to that.
Balcony play here from Eminem. As John was saying, they'll get that geisha wall open, but the pressure hasn't imbued itself into their gameplay just yet. Shaiko trying to work his way around the box. Also has some nice angles going down into kitchen. If any of the M&M players want to try and go for key rotations downstairs, potentially some frag grenades they could use, but nothing happening just yet. Speaking of frag grenades, looks like Solotov wants to try and prime one. He's at the ready. Not going to find too much, though, as Shaiko's going to work his way around to a separate angle. They'll be able to seal up that window for now, and a fantastic delay so far here for BDS.
Impact goes in there. Actually deals a decent amount of damage to Nello as well, so good opportunity for BDS to slap that door shut nice and early on. Shaiko striking true here as he is able to find a confirmation onto Solotov. Nello's still in the fight, or at least we thought he was, but like a fact, steals him away. Bit of a tricky angle being played up from down below. Lems, big swing against Uses too as he tries to retake control of this round from the bottom of that main stairwell. Tyrant so far the only player to strike true from the M&M attack as Renshiro is knocked out, but even he now, Tyrant dead on the ground. Wow. And Shaiko just takes control for the final pickup as well. A statement hold from BDS to lock in the tea room and preserve their lead heading into the second half.
Incredible control out of the world's most gifted player. Shaiko keeping that Russian SMG trained on the door to drum, able to clean up that round.
So the next one, teed up here. As we will just rotate usually. BDS not going to throw us any curveballs this early on as they just go for the office hold on the other side of the map. No crazy flair for their operator picks either. The Azami play going to be obviously in check here for Shaiko. And then the Mira setups will also come out from Brede just to try and make this clear from M&M as annoying as humanly possible. May force them into a bit more of an unorthodox route to try and work their way around that. Especially if they don't end up with enough utility here due to early picks or just missed operator selections to be able to work their way past the full setup from BDS. Repicks are going to come in as a result of not wanting to run into that circumstance. So the Ying will be added into the fold. Uses will take up the mantle on Hard Breach, and then the Nook is going to be played by Solotov to try and sneak his way in here, probably from the lower floor initially.
Marshmallows and Molotovs. Haven't been able to find a successful offensive round just yet here on Skyscraper, but early days. Learning a lot from that last round, looking to reinsert themselves onto a new site. BDS selecting the office site for their follow-up to what we saw prior on T. That's gonna also come with a few tidbits that Eminem will have to work their way through. Some mute jammers and other things of the like. Love the mirror windows that we're seeing played into this as well. Jaeger here for Renshiro to try and make sure these positions are more playable. See if that assists them with some of the nade play that could work its way in from Eminem. But fortunately enough for Team BDS, not too many of those residing in the Eminem camp. It's only going to be on Solitov for this round.
Solitov ready to make his first move. So potentially try to hop things into Geisha. Indeed he will. Taking it further than this though, that's where the trouble starts. As BDS will begin to have a bit of a setup to respond to this inside of the depths of Drum there. Shaiko already respecting that challenge that had gone out. A Nitro thrown as well, a little bit early on that one though. Waited a few more seconds, we might have been able to see Solitov come out on top, but does not end up happening. Continue to see Eminem clear out the map. Just a little bit more cautious though of those Nitros from below. Is there still another one potentially to be cooked up by Brede here? However, I believe he's playing a bit closer to the site, so not as much of a concern for the Eminem attack.
No bullets landed inside of that engagement. Solitov able to secure the kill that he so desperately was looking for. Minute now resides for Eminem to try and find something on this map. Looking for a foothold on this site. The case down in the map. Unlikely right on the outskirts of the building or something of the sort. Just trying to make sure it's readily available to any M&M player once the time comes. Gunfight here. EFAC will win it out. Shaiko there just in case things did go wrong, but wasn't necessary. It was good to have a partner in crime though. Works out well for BDS. Solitov with a nade here. Oh, and that nade could have sung if he was able to slip it through with the ADS right on the other side. So not really going to help them out. Renshiro with a nice shot here. Gets dislodged, takes the fight back, and he'll be able to take down Tyrant. Eminem, they cannot get anything going in the building. Renshiro once again stepping up. Shaiko, BDS, flawless round.
BDS looking to lock things down here on their defensive half. No reason why they wouldn't be able to do so with the way things are played out. Eminem realizes that this is getting rough. Timeout has been triggered as they're down 2 rounds. Let's take a listen.
That's what we do.
The thing is, we drone before we get in treasure, and they should have drawn bang 9 foot.
That's why I tried going below. So I can't
Listen, it should be. Listen, it's no. Wait, it's a kitchen now. They are expecting us to do default stuff. Do we want to like open gate shovel, try to flood side from everywhere below? We need to do something different. At least like contesting hard default pushes all the time.
Yeah, we need to swap it up.
We need to swap it up. If you open side, then you're gonna zam it up and it's useless.
Keep the guns up, you got this, okay? Play together. Correctly, peacefully, okay? We fucking got this, guys.
We need 4 rounds in a row.
Let's go.
We need 400 rounds in a row. I'm not fucking losing. Let's open the gate shovel with Ace and...
And so the pause will close out now. And we'll see the BDS roster still look to try and lock down these final 2 rounds. After Eminem takes the pause, though, they're hopefully going to come back into this one with a renewed berth, a new strategy to try and win things out. We'll have to see if it leads into a successful amount of play, though. BDS, slight adjustment coming in for them now on their second play downstairs, as Lycofac is going to add the Frost into this one. Don't believe I've seen this one just as of yet out of them, so we'll take a closer look and see how exactly it's going to be utilized and how they'll try to trip up the entry game from Eminem with it.
Well, you heard Nello talking about it. Really want to try and get Geisha here and influence the kitchen position. This is where the plant's home will more than likely reside later on in the round if they get that far. And that's been really the tail of the tape, hasn't it been, John? Trying to get that far. BDS constantly ahead of them from the defensive end. Big kills coming through from them, not afraid of the pressure. Not afraid to take these early gunfights and try and make it a decisive round in a minute and a half. You can see that already boiling over again here. Eminem have to respect this, but the key thing past that is they can't be too gung-ho either. You don't want to see them burn their logic bombs or anything too important early on just to try and keep BDS barely at bay inside of the building. Try and build up that team play, work these portions of the map together. Use those logic bombs to force yourself even deeper. Make some of these gunfights and these discovery moments that much easier for you. Drone in, it'll find out EFAC here on the top floor, and it'll be Shaiko that's standing in between them and Geisha.
And I'm starting to take some initial map control, mainly just Nave for the moment. Working his way in through the back door. Beginning to take some control, just popping open a few of the castle barricades too, so his teammates have options to deploy elsewhere here on the first floor. Mainly just posturing though on the rappel. No sign of that Geisha take coming in just yet. They have spotted out, I believe, Renshiro over here on the office side. Never mind, it's going to be Like a Fact spotted out there. Uses though, immediately executes onto Like a Fact's position. Takes him down. Never even really got to salt any of his opponents, and no contributions coming in from him on this round.
Well done. This is going to be the first logic bomb down though. Shaiko can continue to fill up these gaps upstairs as zombies keep a barrier so good at sealing up these lines of sight. Past that first kill, not too much movement here from Eminem. Still have some stuns out. Shaiko will seal up the window again. He gets fully stunned, but no active play here from Eminem. Nobody trying to work their way actually into the building. I have some angles to worry about if he comes out from around this box, but he's aware of it. BDS trying to play it to its absolute limit right now. You can see Eminem kind of lost for words. They don't know what the next step's going to be.
Shots out from Shaiko, but does not really yield big results here. The good news is he is holding the time away, and that's what's more important than anything at this point. Even though they are down 4v5, if they can continue to waste out the clock, MNM are not going to have enough time to properly situate themselves and clear out the 3 remaining players deeper out into the site here. Nades being dumped, not really in any position to force out movement from BDS. Might have just been to deal with deployables. Now down to 30 seconds, and still no sign of that improving for Eminem. Continuing to drone things out. Looks like they have a slight setup to make their play work, and finally, Shaiko is going to get dropped. So Eminem may have the snowball to make this work. Renshiro to get one. Lems as well steals away another near Sushi Bar. We saw the trap work out up on top as well to down out another member of this attacking roster, leaving it all on to Uses now. Renshiro also down 2. Lems the Nitro Chuck with his opponents get back up. Neither goes down to it. Catches one on the rotate. The plant, we're just not going to see it in time. BDS wins it once more on the timer.
Now that right there is the LMs that we're used to seeing. BDS throwing me off, man. So much positive energy over here on this bench right now. I have to feel fantastic for this French squad. Lems and the rest of the gang having a ball here on Skyscraper. As for our other European squad, though, John, hot water right now. Eminem back against the wall. Tournament hopes all hanging on one round. They have to find 3 in a row on the offensive side in order to force us to overtime. Now, here's the key factor. We heard the conversation going on here for Eminem inside of that last little tack time out there, and they did a lot of conversation about the ways that they wanted to take the map and the things that they wanted to do. Well, the key thing that they talked about was taking Geisha, which never happened. Eminem was never able to dislodge Shaiko from that top floor. They try and go in through another set of means. Yes, they eventually do kill Shaiko and get it down into the 1 versus 2. But the entire early round, I mean, practically 2 minutes and 15 seconds dedicated to trying to fight for the top floor, fight for something, and they eventually just have to throw it at sight because they have nothing going for themselves. Fortunately, that almost works its way out because of the man advantage, but still, the round going the way of BDS off of Alem's efforts.
So BDS with 1 more round needed. Eminem, like Stokes said, up against the wall, but up against potential elimination from the tournament, the biggest event of the year for the Siege ecosystem as well. So not wanting to give that up lightly as we continue to see the rappel work early on from Eminem. And they'll position themselves just on the outskirts. Top getting ready to potentially lean in a bit more aggressively here. Drone work as well, assisting him as he tries to take that little bit of early control. We are going to see Alem sit on the other side of this one. Spots out the drone, sees the push coming forward with that drone as well. Pops away the drone, but is not confident necessarily it is going to remain safe from this spot. Solotov as well, a little bit worried of a potential drop down from the church end of things, so he's paying attention to that. as neither player just has the right read on this situation. They'll kind of respectfully back away from each other. BDS able to waste out the time, of course, but I'm able to get a little bit of map control back there on the first floor. Oh, nicely done here. Lem's even going to spot the presence sensor. This is the benefit of bringing this operator into play. Any gadget utilizing the attacking side, even the Hell presence sensor there, it's going to get spotted out by the Solus. Immediately locks onto it. Potentially saves the life of his teammate there too, as Lycofact takes, I believe, a little bit of damage from Solotov. So very well timed on that play also from Lems.
Yeah, Solus is all about green energy. Takes out anybody using batteries and throwing them to waste. It's going to be Solotov here. Electric utility gun down, all due to Solotov. Rather, a Lems on the Solus. Well, solo dolo action between those two. We need to get Solotov on Solus, it really feels like here. But BDS so far, so dominant. Tyrant might have the moment, and he will. He'll get Renshiro, but the site upstairs only going to be able to prevent Renshiro from playing things out on more of a rotational basis. I don't know if he had the impacts to really try and play through the verticality there either, but not obviously going to matter all that much now.
Lycofact set up to continue to hold things here along with Brede on the top end of Barbecue Stairs. The shots not able to roll out to knock anyone down just yet from Eminem, although Uzus is certainly going to find Shaiko the first to fall now as the execute begins. The rest of the team actually trying to pinch this from below as well. Quite a bit of presence working its way in from downstairs. The only thing that BDS is working to their favor at this point is the time factor here. And Brede immediately going to deny Barbecue Stairs. Knocks that one out. Lems as well as Lycofact are found out afterwards though. And as Brede is forced down to the bottom of those stairs, he does not have much of a hope of denying this plant. Gonna make the run up for it. Obviously no Nitro to be seen here for him. Tries to go for the plant in there, but the ping is in the wrong position, unfortunately. Is not going to be able to spot out the planter. It goes down onto the ground. So this round pretty much secured at this point for Eminem, unless Brede gives us a real treat to end the series.
Scary thing, though, is that two of these people are decently low. So Brede can get something, but oh, unfortunate. Oh, some shots missed from the Zofia. There it is, Tyrant. Very well done. Got a little worried there for just a split second. But he was worried about getting shot back. You can see how quickly he bounced back behind that shield there, John. But either way, Eminem stave off elimination. Stay alive for one more round. You have to think about the amount of pressure on these guys' shoulders right now. Every one of these rounds has their fate in the balance. Exhibition room and office going to be next for BDS to try and find their only successful round needed to send Eminem home.
Exhibition is, like Stokes said, the next one on the docket here for BDS. As obviously things don't work out on the inside of T-Room. They'll just move it right along. Not one to stay in one site. More than absolutely necessary here. So Eminem will have to change up their own game plan. They already have the Ying being swapped in here onto Nello's POV now. And try and get that flashed up into the site to overwhelm the rest of the setup from BDS. The extension for BDS failing this time, not able to pick up as much defensive prowess as they were able to in the previous rounds. They're leaving the gates open for the rest of Eminem's swing to come through as BDS was hyper-focused on denying things towards the Barbecue side. Just did not have enough of that presence properly positioned to stave off the push coming in from Geisha. 2 kills back-to-back allowed Eminem in. And then that last member of BDS left on their lonesome, just not enough clutch capability there to end the rounds. Let's see if they can get things done on Office side instead.
It's a tall ask for Eminem again here, but one that they will have to get done. Team BDS have looked so successful throughout these rounds, and these defenses definitely sharing a similar light, only losing 1 defense so far. Eminem trying to make that even more so on top of all of this. Some solid positioning around the map here for BDS to support the defensive play. Got all kinds of flavors and layers here. Nitro sell out, that might be it actually. Over the top. Oh, it's actually gonna get stuck, I think.
Stuck on the windowsill.
Windowsill, indeed, John. Very unfortunate there for BDS.
No luck for BDS to send this series home so early on. Eminem continues to survive, but can they thrive now? That's the big question on the rebound as they try to swing things back up to a 6-6 scoreline. And hopefully leave themselves in a better position to win out the rest of this map. Eminem, a little bit of hesitance there. Actually end up backing away from that side hall window. All trying to reposition themselves upstairs here now. Probably just leaving one behind to actually make the hop in and potentially try to position themselves a bit deeper to swing up the staircase once we get down to that pivotal execute point. Speaking of which, we may be reaching that a bit prematurely here. Bride, though, with the mirror window, is going to make it quite difficult to use this for an outright swing. And you can tell that with Eminem not really having anyone peeking into this whatsoever. All held back, waiting for the right call to come through. And immediately, of course, Shaiko, he has got the reinforcements to throw back down onto that with the kunais.
Well, Tyrant 15-6 here for Eminem. Really been the big player for them so far here on Skyscraper. Nobody really able to get anything past 5 kills. That's Usis. So he's the one bringing up the second slot for Eminem currently. Salt having a lot of trouble. In fact, right on the other end of this could be the rotation to end it all. Have the assistance from the house player here. Seems like they're aware, though. You see the yellow ping through the wall. They're aware of that flank player coming through, the likes of EFAC. But he's not going to move just yet. All this time delay. John, there's only 30 seconds remaining. Eminem have got to get something going here.
Eminem, at the moment, a little bit lost in terms of how to proceed forward. Like a lot of other teams at this event so far, kind of hoping that something comes their way, but has not ended up transpiring here so far. Shaiko, the shutdown one, does get Shaiko into the open to trade him, but they lost theirs first. Nello also took some heat because Shaiko was ready for that second fight. Now out comes the big play here. We still have one player downstairs delaying from lobby as well. The pinch against him, but where's the rest of your team? Somehow they're working their way onto the site. It's mass chaos all over the place, and Eminem just cannot contain it. BDS lock in another victory for themselves as they survive not just once but twice today and move themselves one step further and one step closer to the grand finals of SI.
Well, that's one way to get some good sleep, ain't it, John? Amazing games from BDS today. 2 best-of-3 series, and it takes a full breath. All 6 maps for them today, but they get it done. They stay alive, and they're going to send Eminem home.
Eminem indeed, their journey ending here. Trying their hardest, but just not able to fit the pieces together on these more particular attacking sites for the final map. As well, a nice rebound on map number 1. Kept them in this series to begin with, but just not able to contend on our second map of Cafe. Not a single round picked up from it. The 0-7 loss, having to bring themselves back from the brink on that one. Just too much to ask for. And as such, their road to victory